Hello from Bali. This is the podcast Pigeon of Peace, where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the detail. Let's talk about captivity and let's start with the definition.
We have several skills in School of Troubleshooters about captivity, and they are divided in such groups. First is captivity when you was taken on the other people lands, but you was wearing a uniform and you have special marks to understand which army you belong. Second, we call it captivity in the office when you work and you don't like what you do. It's quite unusual, but there is a kind of slang. And third, it would be when you was captured by someone, for example, for ransom or some other purposes. Maybe you would be treated, maybe you would be traded, or maybe you will be kept as hostages.
And when we overall look into in form of the captivity, obviously, like for example, if there is a uniform on us, we may know that, like it may happen. If we're going into the office, we may know that potentially something like this could happen. Same thing with the ransom. Like when we see the bad guy approaching with not so good face, we probably know what may happen. But if we would take a step back, obviously there might be lots of life situations, but how to actually avoid going to captivity in general way?
It is not easy because, for example, my job is connected to some kind of dangerous, and even now, several weeks before, I have been to several territories, and it's quite doubtful what I have done. From one point of view, it was like mathematical work, but from another, it was about country protection or state protection. And in two cases, I was wearing a uniform of other state because I was as a military advisor. And I am always very afraid of this because I know the rules. And several of friends of mine who were hackers, they were kept in other countries because they choose the wrong side. So you should understand, for example, if you will make something without knowing of Ministry of Foreign Affairs of your country, you will be kept in the prison and you will be traded at least after 500 days. Because everyone would say, okay, maybe it's our citizen, but we do not know what he is doing. So you will never have written contract. Yes, you will even be granted some state awards, but you are not allowed to wear them on your jacket. So sometimes it's looking very strange. If you will be succeeded, you will be greeted. If you will be captured, you will be by your own. So you should have special weight in your heart, and sometimes you maybe will refuse of doing some projects. But in this case, if you will make it very often, you will be then not often summoned.
And when we're already being summoned, like whether it's by force or by own will, what might be the strategy in order to actually get through it? Because we also might be, realistically thinking, and we'll try to maybe first assess the situation and actually figure out whether there is like any good option, or it might be like negative option. Then you actually should consider how to optimize it for yourself. Like what should be, I would call it like assessment framework of like trying to understand like where you are.
Now we're very close to the line how to be spy. And the main difference between spy and combatant is to kill people. If you are not killing people in any way, you will be maybe captured, but you will be not tortured. So if you will pass some exam, you will be maybe put in some dangerous situation. For example, people will try to think you, and you will be laying on the special bench, and you will be having a towel on your face, and you will be poured by the water for 10 minutes, and it is not easy to stay. Second, you will be punished by the electric current. It's okay to say electric current?
Electricity, yes.
Electricity, and your muscles would behave in very strange way, and it's very painful. Third, you will be beaten also in the very special mode without any hematomas and without any site on your body. And if you could not stand, for example, for 6 times per day and night, better not to do the job. and sometime you will be put in a very strange situation. For example, you will be stay in the cell with light or with very loud music, or maybe it would be unpleasant noises. I don't know how to say, but in Russian language there is a saying, "пенопластом по стеклу." I don't know how to say it in English.
Like a scratches, like a
Scratches
scratch on the glass.
on the glass. Yes, it is not pleasant. Third, you will be also treated with spoiled water, and you will have diarrhea, and you will be given spoiled food with flies, with worms, and so on. And it is a very strange situation. You have no exit. You should just keep yourself for some period of time, and if you will stay more than 1 day and night, it's stage 1, and after approximately 45 days you will be sitting alone, and everyone would forget about you. If you could stay for 1 day, it's enough to other people who were in the same group as you to hide themselves, and 45 days it's enough to understand that you're already not broken.
And when we speak about like any type of the communication, that also might be happening, because at a certain point of time you might be asked like a certain questions, or maybe someone will try to get like information from you, like in whatever ways. What might be, I would say, again, like the frameworks, like how to think and how to interact with those people, because at a certain point of time there might be breaking point, or they may not be the breaking point where, you know, like some of the words will be spilled.
First, you have a legend, and you have special agents, and they will prepare you at least 3 days. So you will have rehearsal. You will be running. You will be sleeping. You will be eating. You will be going backward. You will run on the stairs, and all this time people will ask you some very sharp question, and after they will decide, are you allowed to go to this mission or not? And if you will play this for some period of time, you will be make all those answers automatically. If you will be asked the same question, but if you will be asked something unusual, maybe you will, I don't know how to say, проколоться, punch out.
Yeah, punch out or
You will
turn
punch
over.
or turnover, and in this case you are not a lucky one. So your legend is very skillfully crafted, and you will be asked by like 1,000 questions per day and night. Second, you should understand that people from other side, they also know what to do, and there is even a special words how to understand are you from this nation or not. For example, if Russian people would be asked by Ukrainian, they will try to ask as such a word like palyanytsia, and not Ukrainian speaking people couldn't understand. Or for example, German people were asked by Russians, say the way, дорога. And for people from Germany, it's not easy to say. They could say taroga, but not дорога. And such words will show you what you have in the culture. So usually you are prepared to represent some kind of tribe. For example, I was prepared to be Pushtun. This is Afghanistan tribe, and I know a lot of their culture, and I'm not afraid about questioning, and I have been there total maybe in 9 months in different seasons. So I know food, I know the clothes, I know a lot of tricks.
Well, and if we actually think about it, it's like, you know, like knowing all of the shibboleths, if I'm not mistaken, this is how those words actually pronounced. And sometimes I do believe it's also not only the things, but how you call the animals or anything like this, like how you show fingers and stuff. So devil is in details. And now maybe from the grim cells of the captivity, maybe we will move to the bright open spaces and see like how exactly captivity might be looking there.
Captivity, sometimes it's quite a small place, and you have some level of comfort. First level of comfort, you have nothing, you have no clothes, and you have no mattress, and it's not very comfortable. You will just sit on your feet, and you will be embrace your knees, and it's very unpleasant. Second, you will be given some food, for example, one time, but with some limitation, for example, without water, or for example, it would be very cold. So you feel cold and you will have a very cold food. For example, they will give you meat, but in frozen form, or maybe some kind, I don't know how to say, spaghetti in frozen form, like an ice, and you have not enough heat in your body to gain it. Third, you will be given some kind of clothes, but you will force, for example, to run all the way. It would be special people who will sit with shifts, and for example, they will run with you. If you will stand, they will put nail, for example, in your back, and it's quite painful, and you will bleeding all the time, and so on. So you should understand that they not intend to kill you. They won't just break you, and you must understand that your body is quite strong and everything is in your head. If your spirit will not broken, you will not surrender. But if you will think that maybe I want to have some food, or maybe I have temperature and maybe it's time to go to the doctor, you will trade your secrets for the comfort. But in this case, you will lose belief of your country and belief of people who sent you there.
And then you also mentioned that the office work also might be considered as the captivity. So this is more like, I would say, probably controversial because different people might be coming from a different points of view and might be considering it in a differently. But in general, why or maybe at which point the job at the office cubicle might be felt like you've been captured by someone?
I was lucky never to stay in such a position, but maybe I was putting another people in such position. Sometimes people will tell me, okay, I do not want to sit close to the window because the sunbeams is getting to my eyes and it is too sharp. Sometimes people will say, okay, I have air condition and it is flow in my ear and it's painful. Sometimes people will even fight close to the radiator because girls, they want temperature like 26 and boys want temperature like 24. Sometimes it would be about toilets. If on the floor there is like 10 toilets, 5 for men and 5 for women, usually you will be seeing queues in female toilets, and there would be like a fight, and sometimes girls would take over on 1 or 2 toilets, and it would be not pleasant situation. Third, it would be about smell. Some people are trying to have lunch boxes and they try to heat something in the microwave, and it would be a smell of onion, garlic, fish, and some else. And if you will work, for example, in India, I have been working to Bangalore for a huge project of Citibank. I couldn't stand smell, the smell mixed with curcuma and some other spices. It's very hard to use to it.
Well, and if we look at it as a captivity, so it seems like, yes, you've been there, kept for a reason, and maybe, like it's not you prisoner, it's like your time and your skills are present, and, like you just being paid some sort of like a food and maybe some sort of money in order to stay. But if you want to move up, like whether you want to move to the higher levels of the captivity where you have, I don't know, like less smells, but still, like still bigger cells, or maybe you want to move out in general, what should be the mindset if there should be like any optimal way?
There's no optimal way. It depends when you will be captured. For example, it would be Guam, very special secret American base. There is a special protocol how to break people. Those people are captured without special paperwork, and those people just disappear somewhere, and they couldn't get information to their relatives or to their country. And if you are staying on such a American base, you have almost no choices. If you will be captured by Chinese, they also have very special way how to treat people, how to punish them, and it is not easy. But if you, for example, would be captured in Norwegian or maybe Belgium or Austria, it would be completely with rules of Red Cross, and nothing bad will happen. But if you will be under torture, you have no chance to stand. You just make your choice. And for example, I usually say to the people, you should think something and answer just one phrase. Usually we make it like I don't know how to say, I am dumb. Я дебил, I am dumb, and nothing else.
Well, and then my last question will be how knowing about captivity could help to make this world a better place.
Sometimes people, even on a very high position, will go to the prison because they misstep and they make some errors in their life, in political environment, and something like this. And if you will be not ready, you will be broken. For example, even right now, I have a client who spent 2 years under the pressure, not in the prison, not in the jail, but I don't know how to say. In Russian, we call it СИЗО, pre-prison special. Is it okay to say like pre-prison?
Still would sound like a prison.
Okay. Yes, and previously it was a governor of the huge region of Russia, a very rich one. And he stands, and no one from the political elite would press his hand, no one would handshake, but all people who making business, they are very proud to be known by him and to be acknowledged.
And we reviewed the skill of captivity and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.